Our first game for today features the NLEX Road Warriors taking on the Meralco Bolts. And now let's meet the starters first for the NLEX Road Warriors. A 5'10" guard from Cagayan de Oro City, number 9, Philippine Mogan. A 6'1" guard from Iloilo City, number 39, Jericho Cruz. A 6'5" forward from Siaton Negros Oriental, number 3, Kelvin Oftana. A 6'6" forward from Bago City Negros Occidental, number 4, Raul Soyud. And a 6'6" center from Santa Ana, Pampanga, number 2, Michael Miranda. Head coach for NLEX is Yang Giao. And now the starters for the Meralco Bolts. A 5'11" guard from Davao City, number 10, John Pinto. A 6'2" guard from Quezon City, number 19, Bong Quinto. A 6'4" forward from Taytay Rizal, number 22, Alain Maliksi. A 6'4" forward from Mitsayap, North Cotabato, number 12, Mac Bello. And a 6'8" center from Orion Bataan, number 20, Raymond Almazan. Head coach for Meralco is Norman Black. Our referees for this game is
Your starters for this ball game: Panyamogan, Cruz, Miranda, Oftana, and Soyud for NLEX, Pinto, Quinto, Almazan, Maliksi, and Macbelo for Coach Norman Black. And you can see that Alain Maliksi will be starting this ball game anew after performing very well in their last contest, as we will have a foul. That tip-off was brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. A foul to open this contest as we welcome you back to PBA Rush. Carlo Pamintuan with Ali Peak on the call. And Ali, a lot of our PBA fans have been looking at the scenarios that are possible for the final 2 game days. We have 16 permutations that are still on the table. We will cut down to half after this ball game, and then further to half after later's ball game between the San Miguel Beermen and the Alaska Aces. So I know a lot of people are geeking out, and everyone's excited to find out which teams will qualify for the playoffs and which teams will be matched up against who in the quarterfinals.
Well, it always gets crazy around this time, like just the cusp of the playoffs, where the teams that are in the in the middle bracket and towards the bottom are jostling for position. And this game here is no different for a team like NLEX. Meralco is all about solidifying that number 2 spot. But interesting stat here, Carlo, we talked about this earlier, but NLEX is number 1 in assists right now, averaging 20.3 points, or assists per game rather. At the same time, Meralco defensively is number 1 in limiting assists from the opponent to only 14.4 assists per game. So this is, in this category, very interesting to see what plays out here.
So who will dictate the pace of this ball game? Who will impose their will on the other? Can NLEX retain their usual ball movement, or will Meralco prevent them from doing that with their disciplined defense? That will be the question we'll be answering in this ball game. So in terms of guarantees, Ali, we know that TNT will be number 1. No questions asked. We also know that the Blackwater Bossing will not be progressing, but even teams that will be inactive in the final 2 game days, such as the Terra Firma Jeep and the Phoenix Super LPG Fuel Masters, will be looking at the results of these ball games, because there is still a possibility that they will compete for the number 8 spot.
Yeah, and you see, it's just like what Coach Norman Black said. Be in control. I've said this for years. Be in control of your own destiny. And where did I get that from? I got that from Coach Norman. I got that from Coach Tim. I even got that from Coach Chud Reyes. Control your own destiny by winning basketball games, so you don't get into a position to where you have to rely on another team to either win or lose to solidify your playoff spot. Better to take care of business early on so you don't have to worry about these types of scenarios.
The other guarantees heading into the playoffs is that SMB and Rain or Shine are assured of best of 3 matches, not known yet against which teams. So it will either be the Meralco Bolts or the Magnolia Hotshots at the number 2 spot, and that is if the Bolts end up losing their last 2 games against NLEX and Barangay Ginebra tomorrow.
That was a nice drive there, Carlo, by Kelvin Oftana, and a nice handoff to Raul Soyud being in the right place at the right time.
How about Alain Maliksi scoring again? He had a birthday bash in their last game against Blackwater. He was the best player of the game, leading them in scoring.
Well, he's averaging about 10.9 points per game. Doing a really good job for Coach Norman Black, and just under 5 rebounds per game at that small forward position.
Ali, the first game that Coach Norman Black tried Alain Maliksi as a starter, he did not perform well. But in his second attempt, he led his team in scoring. So is it just a matter of mentality for Alain now that he's just more ready to start and keep firing for Meralco?
I also think that it has something to do with what Coach Norman Black is expecting from him. Just keep in mind that a lot of the scoring punch left because of the departure of Basser Amer, right? Who is a very intricate part of the team, and so now Alain Maliksi's sort of being pushed into that forefront. Hard to tell, but you know that there were expectations, and you know that Coach Norman Black probably sat Alain Maliksi down and said, "This is what I expect from you."
Great defense there coming from the combination of Macbelo and Raymond Almazan. But Raul Soyud doing very well, working hard on the offensive glass. That is the first order of business for Raul Soyud. If you ask him what is his biggest value for NLEX, he will tell you that it's offensive rebounding.
Well, he's just a workhorse all the way around, and you are right, offensive rebound. Now, I made a bit of a mistake here. They do have quality bigs. Mike Miranda and the guy we were just talking about, Raul Soyud, outside of Jerry Kenyahan. I've mentioned so many times that, JP Eram no longer there. Asi Taulava no longer there. But they've been pretty efficient for everything that they've had to sustain this entire conference as Alain Maliksi gets on the board.
Good tap coming from Almazan, but NLEX will retain possession. Oftana against Macbelo. Oftana, another 3 on the way. Still nothing there from the outside as Raymond Almazan is down on the floor on the other side right now. Meralco will attack, and that shot is good for Macbelo. They might have to give up a foul here just to allow Raymond Almazan to recover.
Well, we hope he's okay. It's nothing serious, but that was a nice pass, nice penetration, and dish off to Macbelo in the corner by Bonquinto.
Oh, good to see Almazan standing up and defending here. Only 6 seconds to shoot for the Road Warriors. Size advantage for Miranda. Cannot hit that one-hander though over the defense of Maliksi. Another 3 on the way.
Wow.
Good again. Back-to-back triples for Macbelo.
Right off the bat. And Meralco getting out to a 16-7 lead over NLEX. 2 3-point shots by Macbelo, practically in the same spot.
Outstanding offense to start the ball game. Macbelo extending the defense, stretching it out, acting as a stretch 4 in this lineup for Coach Norman Black, as this time out is brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. Meralco Bolts racing to a 6-7 lead here in the first quarter. Macbelo with a hot start in today's ball game. He was the biggest addition in the offseason for the Meralco Bolts. Traded him in exchange for Basser Amer. And so far, so good for Macbelo. He had an outstanding first game. He has slowed down ever since, but still averaging in double digits.
To be exact, Carlo, 11 points per game and just under 6 rebounds per game. He's only shooting 22.5% from the 3-point mark this whole conference, but good sign in this basketball game.
Turnover off a timeout. That is painful for the NLEX Road Warriors. as this is now the first double-digit lead of the ball game for the Meralco Bolts, 18-7. Opportunity to attack here as the shot, the finger roll will not drop in for Raul Soyud, but he will be given a couple of free throws. Aldi, as we said, Chris Newsom and Cliff Hodge are back in the lineup. So is Raymar Jose for Meralco Bolts. Someone who was not there right now is Reynel Hugnatan, as he is currently at home. As we are extending our condolences to the family of Reynel Hugnatan, lost his mother a few days ago, and that is why he had to leave the PBA semi-bubble to say his, proper respects to his mother. It's a difficult situation, It's not like before when you can just leave and come back after a few days. Now with the protocols, it becomes a lot difficult, a lot more complicated. But these PBA players, are human beings first, and you have to be with family in a difficult spot.
Oh, of course. I totally agree with you. And to be honest with you, this is my first time hearing about Reynel Hugnatan's mom. It's really sad, unfortunate. And of course, my heart and my prayers go out to him and his family. But it's the resolve that's constantly being tested, whether you are in a PBA bubble, whether it's COVID or not. And that's something that coaches will always tell you is, where is your resolve? How strong is your resolve to, weather any type of storm? And I have to say, Meralco has weathered many storms this conference, considering.
Also extending our condolences to Basera Mer, who lost his father. Rainier Shine head coach Chris Gavina also lost his mother, I think yesterday or earlier today.
Wow.
So a lot of, sad news revolving.
Yes.
The loved ones of some of our coaches and our players, but they'll find a way to battle and move forward with their careers. As right now, the score is 18-9 in favor of the Meralco Bolts. Aaron Black is not in uniform for Meralco, still with that injury, as Calvin Oftana is powering the offense for NLEX here in the first quarter.
Well, he looks so much more comfortable and confident in comparison to his first few games as a PBA player, period.
Alain Maliksi drives closer. Short jumper won't work. Mike Miranda with a rebound. We're not yet seeing Hodge or Newsom.
I really think that Coach Norman Black is going to bring these two guys along slowly.
Well, Calvin Oftana, we just said his name, and he is almost single-handedly carrying them back into this contest, forcing this timeout coming from the Meralco Bolts, showing us his ability to finish in the shaded area with a layup over the blocker that was Raymond Almazan, and then hitting this three-point shot right after with Alain Maliksi defending him. Oftana heating up in the first quarter, and NLEX Road Warriors only down by 4, 18-14 against Meralco. 18-14 is the count in favor of the Meralco Bolts, as Chris Newsom finally sees his first action of the ball game. He was under health and safety protocols imposed by the PBA, but now he's ready to perform once again. So it's this man, Cliff Hodge, also returning to action. Of course, we also have to mention the return of some of the assistant coaches for the Meralco Bolts, Coach Charles Chu, Coach Ronnie Magsano. Coach Charles was very open that he was tested positive for COVID, and we're happy that he has since recovered and that he's back helping the Meralco Bolts in this crucial stretch of the elimination round. Because for the Meralco Bolts, Ali, you have to consider this as the first game of your quarterfinals. Because if you win this, you'll only need one more win in the quarterfinals to move forward into the semifinals.
Definitely, and you know, you hit it right on the nail, Carlo, because I know these are the type of conversations that are going on in practice for Coach Norman Black and the Meralco Bolts, and in the locker room, and just before they hit the floor, right? And being a former player of Coach Norman Black, he's already telling you, hey, guys, I don't know if you realize, but the playoffs have already started for us. So get your minds right, get your minds in the playoff mode right here, right now.
Because if you are Meralco and you're taking a look at your schedule, if you lose this matchup against the NLEX Road Warriors, you will go up against a fresh Barangay Ginebra team tomorrow. You will be playing back-to-back games, and you will be pressured to win that one just to be at the second spot.
Yeah, especially if you lose. You know, if you lose that first game, right?
Yep. So this
yeah,
is
exactly.
so much more important.
Yes.
If you're Meralco, you want to seal the deal here and now and let tomorrow take care of itself.
Just like Coach Norman Black said, just win games.
Of course, Barangay Ginebra is in a win-or-go-home situation. Tomorrow, whatever the results of the other games might be, they will have to pick up a victory as Kinyahan misses, and the smart tap goes to Travis Jackson. Cliff Hodge with the extra pass to Pasaol. Could not get the bucket. We'll get 2 free throws instead.
So the supporting cast, the second squad of Meralco coming in, getting out into the break and drawing fouls.
Alvin Pasaol on the free throw line now for 2.
And he always looks like he's having a good time. Alvin Pasaol.
Yep.
He's always got a smile or a smirk on his face. That's a lot of talent there. Speaking of talent, young talent, Oftana doing a really good job. He's actually the one before the break that brought NLEX back to 14 to 18.
Oftana has 8 points in the game, matching the output of Macbelo, who also has 8. As Pasaol takes care of that second free throw. For NLEX, there is still a possibility that they will drop down to the 7th spot and face a twice to win this advantage. It's heavily dependent on the result of the ball game between Northport Batanguer and the Alaska Aces tomorrow. 21 to 14. Meralco up by 7 points. Second team foul whistled against the Bolts. Kevin Alas in the ball game with Ighalo Panyamogan. Sorry, that was Trollano, Kinyahan, and Will Macaloni. Mid-range jumper is good. He has been so consistent with that shot throughout this conference.
He's been awesome in the block, both sides with that. It's either a turnaround jump shot or it's a turn and face jump shot. That time he had the mismatch over Chris Newsom.
Good pass down low. Travis Jackson a little too deep on the catch though, as Alvin Pasaol is stripped. He is fouled. He'll take 2.
Meralco taking advantage of these second chance opportunities. Speaking of second chance opportunities, Meralco just so happens to be number 1 in that category, and they're just under Alaska. Alaska's number 1 in rebounding, Meralco's number 2 in rebounding. So we're seeing some of that right now in this first quarter.
Pasaol, though, struggling to convert on his free throws, has missed 2 already. With 3 minutes and 19 seconds remaining in our first quarter, NLEX Road Warriors already in the penalty situation. As we thank you once again for joining us on PBA Rush, Carlo Pamintuan with Ali Peak on the call. 22 to 16, a 6-point lead for the Bolts. Kevin Alas being pressured by Jackson. Handoff back to Kevin. Good creation there. Don Trollano, extra pass. Good ball rotation for the NLEX Road Warriors. Kevin Alas could not sink it though, as a foul will be called on the rebound. Looks like this one might be against Newsom.
It was a really good hustle there by Ighalo, but we've seen Ighalo do that many times. Outside of the scoring punch that he gives, whether he's starting or coming off the bench, he can also rebound the ball really well. I have to say, NLEX did a good job of securing that offensive board, because Meralco's rotation defense has been really solid so far.
J.R. Quinyahan mishandling the pass, only 4 seconds to shoot for the blue shirts. Trollano, step back, 3, no good. And that ball will bounce to the favor of Meralco.
And you see that type of defense played by Meralco. You know, everybody communicating with one another. If they have to switch, they already know. Also, they're doing a good job of challenging shots and closing out. I think that's one of the things that's really impressing me so far is their ability to get to those deep corners where the shooters are and challenge and close out.
You played for Coach Norman Black and you know exactly what he demands from the defense game in and game out, Ali.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's one of the reasons why his teams are so successful. It was the one thing that really stood out in the beginning of this conference. As Alvin Pasaol knocks down a three-point shot. I would love to have his skill set as a youngster. Alvin Pasaol.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it seemed like he could do everything. Let's take a look at this three-point shot here by Alvin Pasaol.
He's just a baller.
He's a baller, yeah.
We're still waiting for him to hit his stride with the Meralco Bolts. Kevin Alas could not knock down the response three-point shot. 25-16, back to a 9-point lead for the Bolts. Newsom posting up. 3-second violation against Noy Baclao as he thought Newsom was already gearing up for the shot.
Sometimes that's a mix-up of communication between the big, waiting to put himself in position to get the offensive rebound. You know, you're sort of waiting for the guard, especially if it's a guard, to take the shot. Just have to be a little bit patient and just become a little bit more familiar.
But as you said, the defense has been rock solid for the Meralco Bolts, and this one might be an offensive foul against Ighalo.
It's very impressive. One of the things that Coach Norman Black loves to work on, I talked about, you know, he has this drill where it's a 4-on-4 type scenario, and you know, he's running cutters through there, he's running picks through there, and then the main thing is to close off, cut those gaps off so there's no penetration. And then another thing he also likes to work on, closing out. After the closeout, turn around, box out. Very, very basic fundamentals of basketball, but very, very effective.
Pasaol, another 3 on the way, good again. So he has a couple of triples. Macbelo has 2 3-point conversions also, as this is now a dozen-point lead for the Meralco Bolts, 28-16.
It's been the defense, Carlo. It's been the defense that has been generating the offense on the other end for Meralco.
Look at how difficult that shot was. Meanwhile, on the other side, they go on the attack. Noy Baclao gives it up to Hodge, as Quinto goes one-on-one against Ighalo. Ball screen, does not use it. Quinto, kick out pass. Baclao can hit the mid-range. Does not get the bounce, though. Kevin Alas attacking. Kick out pass. Trollano will not hesitate from deep, and he was left open for 3.
Nice setup there. Trollano, all he had to do was spot up for that three-point shot. We know that he has that in his arsenal.
And when you have a team that is very disciplined with their defense, try to get an early shot when they have not set up yet.
That's a very good point, Carlo. Very good. Travis Jackson comes off the pick and roll with his mid-range jump shot. He's playing with so much confidence right now. Actually, I think he has confidence, period. It's just now Coach Norman's starting to use him a lot more.
I like the point that you made earlier, Ali, that the absence of Chris Newsom and Cliff Hodge has enabled the other players to step up, and that will be valuable, even more valuable for Meralco moving forward, because your entire squad, you know, knows that it can get minutes and that they can, you know, help the team out.
Definitely, definitely. It builds a lot of character, and it gives the team a lot of confidence. And it's perfect because they're going into the playoffs.
Kevin Alas with his usual aggression, attacking the shaded area, drawing a foul, as he will take 2 here.
2 free throws for Kevin Alas.
I was sort of the same way, Carlo. You know, as big. Alvin Pasaol is a big dude. We're probably about the same height. I was a pretty big guy myself. And knowing that I'm still a young rookie and there's a lot of physical players out there, I was helping everybody up. If I knocked them down, I was helping them up right away. Especially when we played against Jaworski's in Nebra. Hey, I'll say, Terry Saldana, I accidentally knock him down. Hey, buddy, let me pick you back
Sorry.
up. Let me pick you back up.
Just to introduce yourself to everyone, as that will be the end of our first quarter of action. The Meralco Volts hot out of the gates as they want to claim the top 2 spot right here, right now against the NLEX Road Warriors. That is the reward for Meralco should they find a way to overcome the challenge of the Road Warriors. They will be leading by double digits heading into the second quarter. The score, 30 for Meralco, 20 for the NLEX Road Warriors. Will the Meralco Bolts secure the second spot? That is the question that will be answered after this ball game between the Meralco Bolts and the NLEX Road Warriors as we open things up in the second quarter with Will McAloney scoring on that drive and getting this N1 opportunity. This is what Coach Yang Yao likes to do with the squads that he forms, even with the Rain or Shine Elasto Painters, Ali. He likes collecting a lot of big men. So even if he won't get a team with a Junmar Fajardo or a Greg Slaughter or a Japet or a Stan Hardinger, he will have a long list of maybe 5 or 6 big bodies that can just bang out there.
And Macaloni is one of those guys. You look at how his performance was in the D-League, he seems to fit the description of what Coach Yang Yao is looking for. On top of that, he has yet to really show what he can do out there. He's got a lot of talent. He's got a lot of weapons in his arsenal.
Bit of ball pressure against the Meralco Bolts coming from the NLEX Road Warriors. Baclao hesitating on the set shot as he missed his first attempt. Anjo Karam never hesitates on anything as he converts that long two.
He just comes off the bench, orchestrates the offense, does a really good job of just being an extension of Coach Norman Black. And he can score the basketball.
JR Kinyahan, good closeout coming from Baclao. Nice fake though coming from JR. Naotaka ni Kinyahan si Baclao as he knows he should have been smart enough to read that play was coming. And one opportunity coming up for JR.
Well, he had Noe Baclao on ice skates. I don't think he knew exactly where JR Kinyahan was going to go.
Bonus free throw is good for JR as the bigs are now chipping in with Macaloni and Kinyahan both hitting end-one opportunities to inch the NLEX Road Warriors closer. 32-26 is the count. Karam attacking baseline, leaves it for Baclao. Mid-range jumper is good this time.
That's one of the things that Noy Baclao is very, very good at. Known for his shot blocking abilities in his younger years, but he could drain that mid-range jump shot.
That's a former #1 overall pick. Of course, the #2 was his teammate, Raba Alusaini. As we have a foul here, a loose ball foul called against Meralco. Currently protecting an 8-point lead, 34-26. Again, Ali, just 4 games remaining in these next couple of days. It will be Meralco versus NLEX, followed by SMB versus Alaska. And then tomorrow we have Northport versus Alaska, Meralco versus Barangay Ginebra. All of those games with definite playoff repercussions.
Well, repercussions is correct. And for as well as Meralco's been playing, this entire conference, you know, it would be tragic to have that type of letdown for all those teams, for that matter.
How about Alvin Pasaol being the first player in double digits? He has 10 points in the ball game, Ali.
Well, he's getting off to a really good start, and you know, we've mentioned it already that it's taken him some time to really catch on and for us to really see what he can do, but we've seen spurts of it.
That was a nice pass coming from Chris Newsom, but Raymond Almazan lost control of the basketball. He should have been in a great spot to score, so Anjo Karam forced to give up a duty foul to make sure that they will have Almazan helping them out on defense. Look at this pass, Almazan to Pasaol, and when you have a big body that can carve up space down low, strong finisher, he is very difficult to stop.
Kind of reminds me a little bit of me, you know, the way he was able to seal. Okay, I'm going to stop referring to myself. Yeah, I don't want people listening saying, "Oh, all this guy talks about is." You know what? That's a very good seal by Alvin Pasaol. That is fundamental. You want to seal deep that way, and even if you're going up against a taller defender, that girth and that size puts the defender in a compromised position, like practically underneath the basket to where he can't really go up and challenge. But that was a nice power up by Alvin Pasaol.
Also gives you solid Nolly Locsin vibes.
Yes, very. You know what? Very similar body prototype, and also, you know, just the capability. Absolutely.
Another three-point conversion though from the Road Warriors as they are using the three ball to inch them closer in this ball game. That jumper will not work for Hamito, but he gets the ball back. Smart tap coming from Anjo Karam. He creates for Almazan, who loses control of the ball again because of the defense of Quinyahan. Another opportunity here for Meralco. Anjo Karam left wide open for three. No good.
You know what I didn't like about that? You had only 2 or 3 NLEX defenders trying to defend, and the rest of the players did not get back to help out their teammates.
And you can see why Meralco is one of the top rebounding teams in the league and the top team in terms of second chance points because they put so much effort. JR Quinyahan outside. Got pass to Ikhalo. His pass stolen by Bong Quinto. Quinto will go all the way for the slam.
There we go. The athletic ability of Bong Quinto. He's been doing that for years.
Macaloni down low. Good patient move against an outstanding shot blocker in Almazan.
Definitely. And that's what I was talking about. Macaloni is able to use his body that way, going up against bigger defenders.
Only a 4-point advantage now for the Bolts. Bong Quinto using the screen from Hamito. Almazan, high-low. Good defense from Macaloni. 3 seconds to shoot. Hamito has to put it up. He makes it. As that baseline jumper is good for Jammer.
Been very impressed with Hamito all the way back from his Go for Gold days. You know, I got a chance to just sort of sit on the bench and observe him and coach him a little bit. Very solid big that Meralco was able to pick up.
Wow, Will Macaloni.
There he goes.
Playing very well in this ball game, scoring back-to-back buckets against Raymond Almazan.
It's the size, Carlo. It's the size. I mean, he may not be as tall as Raymond Almazan, but his width makes a lot of difference.
7 points in the ball game off the bench for Macaloni, but the mid-range jumpers continue to fall for the Bolts.
It's the mid-range jump shots for the Meralco Bolts outside of, you know, hustling for those rebounds.
Already 22 bench points for the NLEX Road Warriors. Prototypical coming from a Coach Yang Giao
for
team.
sure. They always produce big coming off the bench.
Quinyahan dribbles in closer. Tough shot. Somehow he makes it count.
I don't think he expected that. But you know, you have that soft touch around the basket. Oftentimes it works in your advantage.
Raymond Almazan is struggling with handling the ball as there is a foul on the run coming from Bong Quinto. Might be a review here to check if It would be an advantage foul because
Please proceed to the change area in front of your respective benches.
NLEX
Both teams
was
are
in
advised to observe proper
great
line
position to score in a fast break basket, Ali.
Got to be in a better position to make the dribble handoff effective. Raymond Almazan had the ball stripped from him. And right now, we're seeing NLEX slowly but surely climb back into this ball game. They're definitely within striking distance.
42 to 38.
Foul number 19, Bonquito.
Only a foul against Bonquito, so that is a lucky break for
Roll
the
Sonia
Bolts.
for Will Macaroni.
So you're coming in for Will McAloney, who gets a nice ovation from the bench of NLEX. And why not? He chipped in 7 points in a quick span of about 11 minutes on the floor. Only averages a point per ball game. Sometimes he doesn't even play. So his ability is not in question. It's all a matter of the opportunities given to him from this point on.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And again, I've always been impressed with his abilities. Nice big-to-big action there. Jerkin Yahan penetrating all the way from the three-point line, dishing it off to Raul Soyu.
You don't see a lot of big-to-big action with a dribble penetration, Ali.
No, not at all, not at all. But, you know, you're looking at the skill set of Jerkin Yahan.
Yeah. Of course, those Rainer Shine, Extra Rice Incorporated boys with Bo Belga, another outstanding creator on offense as a big man. For the NLEX Road Warriors, climbing back, battling, as they were down by as many as 12 points earlier in the ball game. They're now down by just 2, 42 to 40, as this time I was brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. The Meralco Bolts usually are not a strong team in the Philippine Cup, but they made huge steps forward in the 2020 PBA Philippine Cup inside the PBA bubble, where they finished in the semifinals. They were one Scotty Thompson triple away from perhaps making it into the finals in the PBA bubble, Ali.
Well, I think this conference, more than any, they have a really good shot because they've addressed many of these issues. Go back to all of these years past, 16, 17, 18, 19, even back to last year. Last year was sort of the start of them addressing the big man issue. That was the biggest thing in the All-Filipino Cup. They had no inside presence whatsoever. It was always addressed in the Commissioner's Cup and the Governor's Cup through imports. Case in point, Alan Durham. Case in point, they were able to go to the finals, I think 2 years in a row. But now they have at least 5 guys that they can rely on, whether they're starting or coming off the bench at that big man position, whether it's the 4 or 5 spot.
They added it through a big trade with Rainer Shine. Bonquito was also an outstanding addition because the first round did not, well, at least in his draft class, he was expected to go in the first round. So Meralco really lucked out that he fell out and that they were able to pick him up early in the second round.
What I like about Bonquito is he can play different positions out there. You see him initiating the offense, but you can also see him post up down low. Alain Maliksi.
Yeah, another addition, Alain Maliksi, a scorer, and then you add Mac Bello in exchange for Basera Mer. All great moves coming from the Meralco Bolts to give them, as you said, Ali, their best shot at a good finish in the Philippine Cup.
You know, and you think about guys like Jam Hamito,
Yeah.
who is a big body out there. And then, you know, Raymar Jose, if he can manage to get into the lineup of what Coach Norman needs, again, all valuable. And again, Elaine Maliksi adding to the scoring production of Meralco.
Anjo Haram goes up top. Raymond Almazan goes reverse. Is finally a good catch for Almazan.
And a turnover.
Oh, a turnover here. Alain Maliksi
Ooh, man.
converts from
Wow.
deep. As the defense very slow to recover for the NLEX Road Warriors. Ollie back to a 12-point lead for Meralco.
Well, it was a bit of a lackadaisical inbound pass that was intercepted that resulted in that three-point shot. But again, you go back to how scrappy Meralco is defensively. We've already seen a few steals in this first half.
Kevin Alas, when NLEX needed a bucket, puts his head down, attacks, draws a foul from Anjo Haram, and he is now on the line for two. We have not yet heard a lot from Jericho Cruz in this ballgame. You mentioned him in the pregame as someone who can step up and help fill the void that was left by Kiefer Ravena, but so far, not a lot from Cruz. Tried a couple of times to score, 0-2 from the field, although he has one assist.
Well, possibly in the second half. You know, it doesn't look like he's going to be inserted back with 4:24 left in the second quarter, but possibly the second half he might even start. Remember, that's about 12 points per game that is, you know, has come of value to NLEX, especially when Kiefer Ravena left.
Alain Maliksi with another three as he is eating up here in the second quarter. 13 points in the ball game for Alain.
He's past his average of 10 points per game.
And he is still perfect from the three-point range, 3 of 3. Meralco as a team is 7 of 8 from downtown, Ali.
Very, very good. And speaking of good, Calvin Oftana challenging the bigs, particularly Raymond Almazan down low.
And Lex getting a great performance in the first half coming from Calvin Oftana. Smart move from Bong Quinto.
That's what I was talking about earlier. You know, he can do a lot of things out there, but he also is capable of posting up. We look at that three-point percentages here, which you mentioned, 7 for 8 by Meralco, only 5 for 15 from NLEX.
Oftana, though, converts on another triple. He has 5 points in rapid succession for a total of 13 points to match the output of Alain Maliksi. As those two players are leading the Meralco Bolts and the NLEX Road Warriors. Meralco up by 11. Alain Maliksi had a birthday bash against his former teammates with the Blackwater as he had 21 points. He was 3 of 4 from downtown alongside 10 rebounds, and he is working on having another big-time performance against the NLEX Road Warriors in this ball game, as Maliksi usually comes off the bench, but he's starting in this game, started against Blackwater, already has 13 points in this contest.
Isn't that amazing? And I've always thought that this was a huge pickup for Meralco, because he's the type of player that if you need buckets, you can isolate him. He can create his own shot. Very talented in the lane. Maliksi, he got tangled up with Anthony Semerad.
57-46, 11-point advantage for Meralco. with less than 3 minutes remaining here in our first half of action.
Jericho Cruz back in the ball game, Carlo.
Quinto posting up against Oftana. Another nice move coming from Quinto. Comes up empty though. Soyud with the rebound. Forward pass, Oftana, another three on the way. Rattles this one home. He has 16 points in the game.
And you mentioned this point earlier on, and I thought that was a very good point. Don't wait for the Meralco players to get back and set up their defense. Try to score as quickly as possible. That was an example of that. Calvin Oftana knocking down that three-point shot.
Counter three though coming from Nard Pinto, as he reinstalls an 11-point lead for the Meralco Bulls. Hot start for Calvin Oftana. Averages just 6.8 points per ball game. Already with 16. Oh, he is on automatic right now.
He's feeling it. He's on fire right now.
19 points in the first half for Calvin Oftana, almost single-handedly keeping NLEX in this ball game.
What's his career high?
That should be it. A lot of physicality there between Anthony Semerad and Alain Maliksi. It started immediately after Anthony Semerad checked into the ball game. But first, look at this. Back-to-back three-point shots. Confident stroke coming from Oftana. He's in the zone right now.
For sure.
As you said, Ali did not get a hot start to his PBA career, but we know his capacity. Former NCAA MVP and former member of Gilas Pilipinas Men. He can ball. Semera drives the one-hander. Hitting all glass there.
No, he hit, yeah, just bounced off the backboard.
Not really his game. He's more of a spot-up shooter.
Spot-up shooter, exactly, and a banger down low. But he's been battling well, and we see Bon Quinto attacking and scoring on the other side, mid-range jump shot. But going back to Anthony Semerad, he has been battling, pain in the rib issues this conference.
That's an offensive foul whistled against Jericho Cruz. Perhaps a bit of frustration also that he can't get himself going. A little too rough there down low to push out the defense of Pinto.
Well, it's not the ideal start for Jericho Cruz. We know that he can sometimes get out to a scoring punch right off the bat.
But how about the offense of Meralco? They're on pace for 120 points here in the first half, Ali.
Yeah, yes, definitely.
Another three on the way. Macbelo converts from deep.
It's crazy.
Third three-point shot of the ball game for Bello.
And the officials need to really start paying closer attention to Alain Maliksi and Anthony Semerad. They're really starting to go at it. Nip it in the butt already.
65-52, a 13-point lead. Nice extra pass. Miranda could not score there, but Anthony Semerad is there for the follow-up. As the timeout will be requested by the Meralco Bulls. 65-54 is the count. An 11-point advantage for Meralco as they're firing on all cylinders after the return of some of their players. Hodge, Newsome, their coaches, Coach Ronnie Magsano, Coach Charles Siu, everyone helping out to try and overcome this hot first quarter coming from Calvin Oftana. 19 points in the ball game. He is 5 of 7 from downtown, 7 of 10 total from the field.
That's amazing. And we see the full potential of this young man.
That is why NLEX drafted him with their 3rd overall pick in our proceedings last year. As Coach Yang Giao knows that his team can bounce back and overcome this double-digit deficit. They've done it twice already, from 12 to 3 or 2 points, and they can certainly climb their way back into this matchup.
They certainly can, Carlo, but Meralco's been doing a really good job of answering right back and extending the lead, and then NLEX has to start all over again. But let's take a look at these numbers. 19 points per game. 19 points so far in this first half by the rookie Calvin Oftana, doing it in 12 minutes. Very, very impressive. But everyone looks comfortable on the offensive end of Meralco, and everyone from Meralco getting involved.
Looks like Coach Norman Black wants Calvin Oftana to work a little harder on the defensive end. Ball will stay with Meralco. 3.2 seconds remaining. NLEX has 3 fouls to give, but with only 3.2 seconds remaining in the shot clock, they might just opt to play good defense here. Macbelo, a long 3. No good. That ball did not hit the rim, so NLEX will attack. Miranda did not catch the pass as it was tapped. That'll be the end of our first half of play. Red hot scoring coming from Calvin Oftana as he leads all scorers with 19 points. But our player of the half is Alain Maliksi as he has also led the offense for the Meralco Bolts. 10 points in 13 minutes for Alain as he remains perfect from the field. Maliksi, a double-digit scorer alongside Alvin Pasaol for the Meralco Bolts, as they will also be carrying a double-digit advantage heading into the second half of action. It is a Meralco 65, NLEX 54, heading into the halftime break. At the half, the score is 65 for the Meralco Bolts and 54 for the NLEX Road Warriors. The three-point shots are just falling for the Meralco Bolts in the first half of action, with Alvin Pasaol, Macbelo, and of course Alain Maliksi all chipping in, and this slam dunk off the steal and the fast break attack for Bong Quinto.
Well, we've just seen so much production on the part of Meralco. Guys that started, guys coming off the bench. But as I say that, we also see what NLEX has been able to do offensively. A lot of good looks for the NLEX Road Warriors. Calvin Oftana really getting off to a good start. 19 points at the half. Let's see if he can continue that output. But we also, again, see good plays by Meralco. A lot of three-point shots, as you mentioned. As a matter of fact, they're shooting 81%. We take a look at these statistics here. Big discrepancy, 65% for Meralco and then 47% for the NLEX Road Warriors. Second chance points goes to the advantage of NLEX, however, but then points off of turnovers, you gotta look at the defense, the steals by Meralco, 15 points, and of course fast break points, 5 points for the Meralco Bolts.
Look, NLEX did not have a poor first half of action.
No, they
shot
did not.
very well.
Yeah, they did.
54 points in the first half is already big, but as you can see, you know, of course, the leading scorers is Alain Maliksi with 13, Macbelo with 11. On the other side, Calvin Oftana with 19 points, already notching his career high. His previous career high was 16 in his third PBA game. That is now ancient history. The question now is, can he keep it going, or can the other members of the NLEX Road Warriors step up and help him out on offense?
Well, the way they were playing in the first half, if they can repeat that, whether or not that happens, I think they're going to be in good shape. Another statistic I wanted to bring up, bench points, which always seems to be in favor of NLEX, whether they win or lose. They're up right now 27 to Meralco's 22.
JR Quinyahan missing on the first shot of the third quarter. As we thank you so much again for joining us on PBA Rush. Carlo Pamintuan and Ali Peak on the call. What's at stake here for Meralco is a twice to beat advantage to start our quarterfinals. They only need to win one of their last 2 games. This is their first shot. Tomorrow will be their second against Barangay Ginebra San Miguel. For the NLEX Road Warriors, they still don't know where they might end up. Could be a best of 3, could be at the 7th spot with a twice to win disadvantage depending on this game and the result also of the games tomorrow, especially that matchup between Northport Batang Pier and the Alaska Aces. So a lot of possibilities still on the table in the final 2 games of the elimination round, Ali.
So definitely. And again, we're going to sound like a broken record today, Carlo, for all the fans that are listening. Win as many games as possible. Just keep winning, period, to put yourself in the best possible position you can. Now, The last 3 possessions for Meralco haven't been the best, but John Pinto just answered me in what I was saying by knocking down a 3-point shot.
10 of 12 from the 3-point range for the Meralco Bolts. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. You don't see that too often.
Everything just falling for the white shirts as they lead now 68-54, biggest lead of the ball game. Good block, good help defense coming from Almazan, and Meralco will go on the run. Alain Maliksi to Quinto, spins, great defense coming from Kevin Alas, taking the ball away from him.
Straight rip.
Counter-attack for NLEX, with the defense recovering for Meralco. J.R. Quinyahan attacks, draws a foul from Mac Bello for 2.
The quick offense, attacking quickly, not allowing Meralco to set up defensively. But look at this block shot here. This is why having a shot blocker, a rim protector, is so valuable. Keep in mind, this was non-existent for a very long time with the Meralco Bolts. Now they have it.
As you said, they usually do well with imports. Of course, Alan Durham in the Governor's Cup. You have imports like Arinze Unwako, Alex Stevenson, outstanding imports in the Commissioner's Cup as well. But Meralco still looking for their first ever championship in the PBA. And it looks like they will have a really good shot at it this conference.
I agree with you. I definitely agree.
Of course, the favorites will be the TNT Tropang Giga, the league leading team. San Miguel Beerman with the return of Junmar Fajardo, also heavy favorites, but Meralco has a lot of weapons in their roster. And with Coach Norman Black, you know, and the defense that this team is playing with, they could be a threat in the playoffs.
For sure, for sure. You know, we're always going to think about San Miguel. And even though they weren't able to get into the top 2, still a very, very strong team. And although we're talking about NLEX and Meralco right now, that is still an issue that all the teams have to deal with. They have to deal with San Miguel and Junmar Fajardo.
Raul Soyud converting on a triple as the NLEX Road Warriors start chipping away at the Meralco lead. Alain Maliksi, tough jumper as the tap goes to Ighalo.
You know, the offense has been a little sloppy for Meralco to start off this 3rd quarter. They need to tighten things up.
Trollano to Quinyahan against Bello. JR trying to use his size, but he comes up empty. Almazan with the board.
Sort of a quick shot there, understanding that, you know, he gets past his first defender. There's Raymond Almazan, you know, with the block shot capabilities. It's probably one of the reasons why he threw it up real fast.
Good drive coming from Pinto, but he overshot the mark. Battle for the rebound picked up by Soyud as NLEX will attack.
I like the hustle from NLEX.
Oh, nice pass coming from Kevin Alas, but Mac Bello is called for the foul. Ighalo will get 2 free throws.
Right now, NLEX has cut the score to 10 points. We see Ighalo always putting himself in good position to attack. Mac Bello puts him on the ground.
Bello got the ball first, but then with his motion, grabbed onto the arm. Yep. Leading to the foul as Ighalo takes care of the first free throw. So again, for NLEX, it seems like in terms of just the weight of it, it seems like there's a lot more in this for them tomorrow in that ball game between Northport and Alaska, because even if they win this matchup, Ali, against Meralco, they are not guaranteed of a best of 3 in the quarterfinals. Sure. That's just how the numbers are.
Yes, and you know, the thing that really is unfortunate is that they're not in the driver's seat.
Of course, they will have to look back at that particular matchup against Magnolia, the game that went into double overtime, a game that they should have won. And if they did, they'd be comfortably, you know, in a best of 3 right now. And that tough loss left them in this situation. Fouled against Kevin Alas. Trying to get a steal against Pinto.
You know, sometimes you got to ease back and just play straight up defense instead of trying to pick the pocket.
So
especially against someone like John Pinto,
yep,
who's a really good guard.
But Ali, as you said earlier, Coach Norman Black not forcing the issue with Newsome and Hodge, just easing them into the rotation.
And I think that's a good call because these guys have been playing without those two, who ironically enough happen to be like pretty much the team leaders of that team. You know, Chris Newsome being the head guy, the leader of that squad, and Cliff Hodge, I would imagine, a leader by example.
That's the fourth three-point conversion of Macbelo, but a good response on the other side coming from Raul Soyud with this end one opportunity. And Lex doing enough to stay within striking distance, not allowing Meralco to break this game wide open, even if they're shooting at a red-hot clip right now from the three-point range.
I like the cut by Raul Soyud. Seems that over the years, Jair Kanyahan and Raul Soyud have been able to build a connection. Soyud, 11 points, and this is not him creating his own shot. No plays run for him. This is just him putting himself in the proper position, hustling, getting offensive rebound, putbacks, etc., etc.
Blocking foul called against Ighalo as he forced Alain Maliksi to lose his footing on the attack. 73-62, Meralco at 11 of 13 from the three-point range for a whopping 84.
I mean, I don't even, have we ever seen that in the NBA? I don't know.
11 of 13. We expected the numbers to dip here in the second half, law of averages, but right now Meralco is just shooting at an unbelievable clip from downtown. Maliksi against Ighalo. Alain attacks towards his left, one-hander, gets the bounce.
That's what I'm talking about right there. He's able to create, especially when the offense is not blowing for Meralco. You can just isolate him. That time at the top of the key, he takes Ken Ighalo off the dribble.
15 big points for Alain after scoring 21 in their last game against Blackwater. That's an N1 opportunity for Kenneth Ighalo. Almazan a little too aggressive there in going for the shot block. Ends up giving up the foul.
Those are some of the hits that you have to accept. For as many shot blocks that you are able to be successful in, you also have to accept getting scored on and sometimes getting dunked on. It just comes with the territory. Having said that, I just love Kenneth Ighalo's game. I love the way he attacks, fearless. He can hurt you from so many different angles, and he's just an invaluable piece to what Coach Yang Yao wants from his NLEX team.
Ighalo inches them closer. Bonus free throw is good. Still a 10-point lead though for the Meralco Bolts, 75-65. Hodge looking for someone to get the ball from him, and it will be Bong Quinto. There's a switch. Quinto against Kinyahan. Cross-court pass. Alain Maliksi for three. Nothing there. Rare miss from downtown coming from the Meralco Bolts, especially from Alain Maliksi. That is actually his first miss from the three-point range. Good leak out coming from Anjo Karam for the easy basket.
Quick bucket by Meralco, extending the lead once again.
Ali, it seems like throughout this ball game, the NLEX defense has not done enough to make Meralco look uncomfortable at any point of this ball game.
Not at all. And I think a lot of it really has to do with, well, Meralco's always had good ball movement. But they're just on a roll right now. Everyone is involved offensively, which is huge for Meralco.
Turnover for the NLEX Road Warriors, leading to them calling a timeout, brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. Macbelo with 14 points in the ball game, the second leading scorer of Meralco in this contest, next to Alain Maliksi with 15. Belo is 4 of 5 from downtown, now uses his speed against Quinyahan, flips it up, misses, as he was pushed for 2 free throws.
Talked about certain players from both squads having different capabilities. Macbelo, outside of the three-point shooting, he can also turn and face and attack you from the wing. And he used his size and his, ability to put the ball on the floor going up against Jared Quinyahan to draw that foul.
That is just the value of having a Macbelo, because in this lineup, you can play him as a 5 or as a 4, as a stretch 4.
Stretch 4.
You can also play him as a 3. He has certainly the skills and the athletic ability to be a small forward.
For sure. I think at one point you could see you'd be able to see a huge front line for Coach Norman Black as we get into the playoffs, to where it pushes Macbelo to that small forward position, which would be Alain Maliksi knocking down another shot, 3-point shot, I believe. Excuse me, 2 points. 2 points.
81-65, 17 points for Alain Maliksi, 16-point lead for Meralco, as they're slowly breaking away against the Road Warriors here in the third quarter. Again, we thank you for joining us on PBA Rush. Carlo Pamintuan with Ali Peak. 4 of 6 now from downtown is Macbelo. Quinyahan, top of the key 3, too strong. Rebound, nice tap coming from Quinto as he sends the ball to Anjo Karam.
Another alternative in rebounding, period. If you can't get it, tap the ball to your teammate.
81-65, Meralco firmly in command of this matchup as they will call a timeout. Quarterfinals coming up. That will be later this week. Of course, number 1 and number 2 with twice to beat advantage against number 7 and number 8. 3, 4, 5, and 6 will be engaged in the best of 3 quarterfinals, and that is the best possible scenario for the NLEX Road Warriors, a best of 3 against some of the top teams in the league. They do not want to fall to that 7th spot where they might have to take on Meralco once again, but with a twice to win disadvantage for NLEX. Tough shot coming from Alvin Pasaol, but an offensive rebound for Maliksi.
Just no boxing out on the part of NLEX. Going into this game, you know that this is the top team in second chance opportunities or rebounding, number 2. So that has to be addressed at some point in the second half.
Sorry miss there coming from Calvin Oftana as he sees his first action of the second half after leading NLEX with 19 points in the first half. Cliff Hodge with a strong move. Layup is good against Quinyahan.
Fake the jump shot, attack, put your head down and go straight to the basket, Cliff Hodge.
Good read on defense as Cliff Hodge sends it forward. Anjo Karam leaking out and then scoring another fast break layup.
Defense, perimeter defense in particular by Meralco, causing turnovers, making it very difficult for NLEX to really mount a solid comeback.
And just like that, it's now a 20-point advantage. 85-65. Meralco getting anything and everything they want from their offense.
Points from turnovers. That number jumped up to 17 points as we take a look at this play by Cliff Hodge attacking Jerkin Yahan, getting to the basket.
Meralco shooting 60% from the field, 68% from the three-point range. As Philip Panyamogan will try to scratch and claw NLEX back into this matchup.
Philip Panyamogan can be potentially dangerous in any game, especially tonight, where he can just catch on fire at any given time.
Karam bounces it to Hodge, extra pass, Travis Jackson misses from deep. As a loose ball foul will be called against Hamito. And now we're seeing the law of averages starting to catch up with the Bolts in terms of three-point shooting, but they've done well enough on defense to score easy baskets on the other side to offset that.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, where you start to sort of cool off offensively, defense is always going to be the key in any case scenario, especially if you're struggling on the offensive end.
Good block coming from jammer Hamito. Scramble for the loose ball picked up by Hamito. And Meralco will try to go on the run here. Jackson goes down low to Pasaol against a smaller Panyamogan. Alvin Pasaol just too strong even against the help defender there in Raul Soyud.
The way he knows how to use his body, that size, your lower extremities having so much more leverage over taller defenders.
Here we go, 2 3-point conversions already for Panyamogan. This is a player who can definitely light it up. Hodge, top of the key, goes to jammer. Hamito goes to the spin, nothing there, as they will reset their offense. Karam, spacing a little bit problematic for Meralco. That will be a loose ball foul against jammer Hamito, and they are in the penalty situation. 2 free throws coming up for the Road Warriors.
I want to see Meralco, you said better spacing, but I also want to see them work the ball around. Work the ball around to where they can get an easy bucket and a wide, more open shot type scenario.
Shooting 2, Raul Soyud.
Raul Soyud now on the line for 2. They cannot afford to miss any of these freebies. They need anything and everything that they could muster up to try and get back into this ball game. Ali, we talked about this earlier, but we're seeing that NLEX is getting its usual assist numbers. They're at 16 already. But Meralco is at 23, so it's not about the defense entirely of Meralco. They're just at another level in terms of their scoring in this ball game.
You know what? That's a very good point. I wanted to say that, but I also wanted to have respect for NLEX. You know, it does cross your mind, you know, and it gives you an idea of where they are in terms of, you know, just overall play in this conference.
Because again, for NLEX, 72 points in the third quarter is absolutely not bad. But they just can't find a way to stop Meralco from scoring. As Tana will be heading to the line for 2.
Tana is a big player, a big specimen at 6'4", 6'5". With all that skill set, bright future ahead for this young man.
So this will be the lowest output in a quarter for the Meralco Bolts. They had 30 in the first quarter, 35 in the second. They're working with 22 points here in the third. 6'5", about 200 pounds, NCAA MVP for the San Pedro Red Lions. Calvin Oftan undoubtedly will have a long and successful career here in the PBA.
Oh, for sure. Hands down, no question.
And NLEX starting to knock at the door again. This is down to a 13-point lead. Travis Jackson, his pass stolen. Cruz up ahead. Jericho Cruz goes all the way, misses the layup though. Soyud saves the ball. Cruz could not get to it. A sorry miss for Jericho, as it was a golden opportunity to score an inch closer.
Well, you know, sometimes you could see your defender coming. That time it was Chris Newsom sprinting all the way back on defense to defend that, to challenge that. Sometimes that's all it takes.
One more foul to give for NLEX. Pasaol had the ball swiped from him, but the ball bounced on the baseline. They will retain possession with 14 in the shot clock.
Yeah, the offense of Meralco's really slowed down in this quarter, Carlo.
Newsom against Panyamogan. 10 seconds in the shot clock for the Bolts. Foul given up by Panyamogan. They had one to burn. And now they will have to play clean for the final 8.4 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Into the inbounder, sends it to Newsom. Alvin Pasaol, jumper is good. Defense of NLEX not paying attention. Travis Jackson with a near steal there.
Those are tough passes. But again, you got to give credit to the pressure defense of Meralco, the denial.
2.8. Philip Panyamogan has had a couple of threes already. He could not sink that half-court shot, as the Meralco Bolts will find a way to stay ahead. They tried to break this game wide open against the NLEX Road Warriors, as Coach Norman Black is giving his team a thumbs up for their performance so far, as they're inching closer towards sealing up that second spot. They're up 89-74 heading into the fourth and final quarter of action.
This is the fourth quarter brought to us by Jericho, our official building and finishing partner.
Rookies coming out to play in this ball game. Calvin Oftana for NLEX and Alvin Pasaol on the other side for the Meralco Bolts, but it would be the players wearing in white holding a 15-point advantage, 89-74. As we start our fourth quarter of action. Carlo Pamintuan and Ali Pic on the call. Oftana with 21 points, 7 of 11 from the field. Pasaol also in double digits with 14 markers, 5 of 6 from the field.
What's interesting about Alvin Pasaol, he's able to do all of this. He's averaging only 14 minutes per ball game, and he's only averaging just under 6 points per game, but he's having a really good point production tonight versus NLEX.
Good help defense there, swarming Alvin Pasaol into turning the ball over. And NLEX will have to double up their effort on defense, try and get back into this ball game. Jericho Cruz will have to step up with his offense as well. Good creation from Cruz, finding Soyud for the layup.
You know, if you're struggling offensively, the best thing you can do is other things. Set up your teammates, play really good defense. Jericho Cruz finding, again, Raul Soyud on the cut.
0 of 6 from the field is Jericho Cruz, but he does have 3 assists. Great help defense once again coming from NLEX. As they will have another opportunity here. Panyamogan for 3, nothing there. Soyud with the offensive rebound.
Wow.
Got the steal, started the break, and then got the offensive rebound. Impressive effort coming from Soyud. Raul for three. Still nothing there. As a rebound. Oh. Anthony Semerad and Chris Newsom getting heated here. As the two are still talking. Cliff Hodge getting in between them. There was a clear foul on Anthony Semerad, and then all of a sudden, Semerad bumping into Chris Newsom.
Well, you know it's bad when both coaches have to get onto the floor. You know, both teams playing really hard here because they understand the magnitude late in this elimination round. And this is something that happens. It's just part of the game.
Let's see this one more time. It was off a rebound. Oh, he threw the ball. Oh. Chris Newsom threw the ball at Anthony Semerad. And we've had precedent, Ali, that when you throw the ball, the referees will deem it as a flagrant foul penalty too. I'm just putting it out there. We've seen it happen before. I think Terence Romeo was tagged with a flagrant 2 in a similar situation. So it will be interesting how the referees will call this one. You can see, you know, Cliff Hodge just trying to keep Anthony Semerad away, separating the two. Cooler heads prevailed. The aggression was halted. Took a while, but at least nothing bad followed. It didn't get worse.
Sure, at least you didn't see any punches thrown. And you see both teams stepping in just to de-escalate the situation.
Coach Norman Black, Coach Yang Yao both stepping in as head coaches. As you can see, you know, Jericho Cruz of Tana getting involved in the situation. No one tried to escalate, I think, among the teammates. That is very important.
Well, I'm just
they
glad,
all wanted to pacify.
And I'm just glad that punches weren't thrown. But still, we have to see what the officials have decided.
Chris Newsom. Technical foul on Anthony Semerad for second motion. Flagrant foul penalty 2 on Chris Newsom for
Wow,
throwing the ball.
there we go.
Chris Newsom out of the play court.
That was what I was saying
Yeah,
earlier.
exactly,
There is clear precedent that if you throw the ball, it will be called a flagrant foul penalty too. It has happened before. PBA officials have been very consistent in calling it. And at that point, I don't think they were left with any other choice because it was clear on the replay as well that Newsom threw the ball at Anthony Semerad after Semerad bumped him. So Semerad called for the technical and the loose ball foul.
Just so the fans can understand, what does this mean for Chris Newsom in the next game?
Not much. Not much.
He's not. He can still participate.
The PBA commissioner's office will take another look at it, but
Sure.
in terms of suspension, I don't think it's a guarantee. I don't think it's likely as well, but we have to wait for the PBA office to make that announcement.
I would imagine if things did not escalate and there were punches thrown,
Then we
probably-
will have
yeah,
more problems.
Probably more, yes.
Travis Jackson missing the technical free throw. Anthony Semerad missing the first of his 2 free throws. Well, the good thing for Coach Norman Black here is even if you lose a player as good as Chris Newsom, you've won your last 2 games without him, and you're enjoying a dozen-point lead at this stage of the matchup with him not really contributing a lot on offense.
That's very true. That's very true. And what they've been able to establish this whole conference has really paid off dividends in this conference.
Philip Panyamogan has missed a couple of three-point attempts here in the fourth quarter, as we have a foul going up against Meralco. Cliff Hodge whistled for this one.
14 seconds on the shot clock.
Again, if you are a PBA player and you get bumped and you want to defend yourself, just don't throw the ball because that is an automatic F2.
It's one of the things that Dennis Rodman said in one of his books, Carlo, is that if you're going to do something, make sure you do it on your own terms and not because someone provoked you to do it. So if you notice, Dennis Rodman rarely got ejected from basketball games because he used that philosophy.
89-79, and NLEX still in this.
Still in it.
As we said earlier, they were able to erase a 10-point lead a couple of times in the first half. Meralco has taken control since the midway mark of the second quarter. But this is by no means a safe lead for the Bolts, with still about 10 minutes remaining in this matchup.
I have to say, Carlo, I got kind of pumped watching that. Brought back memories.
Quinto studying his options right now. Goes to Pasaol, corner pocket, three ball, bounces in.
That time, Meralco's players all spread out. Spacing looked a lot better. Pasaol was able to drain that three-point shot in the corner.
Oh, turnover there. Calvin Oftana was not ready to get that pass from Cruz. You know, my favorite Ali Peak moments in terms of situations like that must be all against Dorian Peña. Those are my favorite.
You know what was funny about that is Dorian and I actually would go hang out with each other.
I know.
And have a really good time. But whenever we stepped out on the court, I don't know what it is about him. We just wanted to take each other's heads off.
On the court.
On the court, yeah.
Offensive foul number 20, Raymond Almazan.
Then we're mad at each other for like the first couple of days, and all of a sudden I get a text from him saying, "Hey, what are you doing tonight? Let's go hang out."
And then it's all good again.
And then then you start the process all over again.
Until the next match.
Until the next game, yeah.
Meanwhile, a 13-point advantage still for the Meralco Bolts, 92-79. Cruz struggling to find his offense, and this is certainly a great idea. Take it strong to the hoop, draw a foul, take your free throws, make them see the ball go through the hoop. Maybe that could get you going.
Stay aggressive. That's the main key here, and best to attack the basket as opposed to trying to knock down shots or find your shot from the outside. That's what every coach tries to tell you, especially if you've been struggling the entire game offensively.
And that is only the third point of Jericho Cruz. 1 of 8 from the field, 3 assists, has 1 rebound as well. Only a split from the line. This might be another opportunity. Anthony Semerad for 3, could not get it. Soyud missed Anjo Karam completely. It's difficult when you have a target as quick as Anjo Karam.
It's almost impossible. That's like me trying to catch my dog in the house. It's not going to happen.
Balanced scoring coming from the Meralco Bolts. You have Alvin Pasaol with 17, Alain Maliksi with 17, Belo with 16, 10 points from Anjo Karam, 8 from Pinto. So everyone chipping in here for the Bolts as they're currently protecting a dozen-point lead, 92-80. So even without, Reynal Hugnatan, who is currently grieving with his family, of course, again, we're extending our deepest condolences to the Hugnatan family. At least you can see other players stepping up and filling in that void for Meralco.
And I think that's key here. That's key. And it's been the key, actually, the last few games for Meralco.
Alain Maliksi, quick trigger for 3. He just came back into this matchup, already firing.
I just get the vibe that he's playing for something to prove.
4 of 5 from the 3-point range for Alain Maliksi, as he has 20 points to lead his team. Meanwhile, this player leads all scorers as Calvin Oftana continues to play well. A new career high for him at 23 points.
We sort of quieted down in the first part of the third quarter, but now he's really starting to pick things up on the scoring end.
I think that's largely because he didn't play, Ali. He checked in, I believe, at about 3 minutes remaining or 4 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Second, third effort coming from Raymond Almazan. Back to a 15-point lead for the Bolts.
Well, Carlo, that's my mistake.
Well, he was quiet because he was on the bench. You're correct.
Well, no, I need to do a better job of paying attention. That's what it is.
Anthony Semerad blocked by Almazan, and then a loose ball foul against Raul Soyud. Outstanding effort coming from Almazan on both ends of the floor. Getting offensive rebounds, scoring, getting blocks.
Definitely. You see the first attempt here, that's okay because he battles for the second and third. That's three offensive rebounds in one possession. Incredible.
Raymond Almazan rocking and rolling here in the fourth quarter as they're up by 15 points, 97-82. This time out is brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. Our current team standing, so if the Meralco Bolts hang on, they will erase one of those asterisks and join the TNT Tropang Giga at the top of the standings, as they will guarantee themselves the top 2 spot and the twice to beat advantage that goes along with it in the quarterfinals.
And that is something that each team has to aspire to at the start of a conference. That way, not saying that you can relax and take days off, but it sort of gives you some sort of base to work off of now. Now you know, okay, this is where we're finishing at. This is more than likely who we have to prepare for. And most of the time, Coach Norman Black will start preparing for potential teams that they could be facing, even as early as now.
Yep. So if they win this one, if they have a twice to beat advantage, it's still possible that they will meet against this same team, the NLEX Road Warriors, in the quarterfinals. Of course, Barangay Ginebra also a possibility for them. All depending on the result of the games tomorrow.
And Elaine Maliksi, 11 points above his average, where he's averaging 10 points per game, 22 points tonight.
Philip Panyamogan cooled down a little bit, and he continues to miss from the field.
Raymond Almazan is really controlling the glass.
Look at that drive coming from Quinto. 4 defenders from NLEX still aggressively look for the opening, as this is once again a 19-point lead. But JR Quinyahan answers back on the other side.
Sometimes those floaters are difficult to deal with, even if you're a really good shot blocker. JR Quinyahan has that type of game to where he can get the ball up above long defenders.
Anjo Karam, good pass, but an even better block coming from Calvin Oftana, denying Raymond Almazan. Oftana, the 3, no good. Almazan picks up the rebound.
He's really controlling that glass, Carlo.
Almazan, dozen points, 12 rebounds, 3 blocks in this ball game.
That's solid. That's solid. Double-doubles and 3 block shots to go along with it. And we still have 6 minutes left here.
He had problems with his ball handling in the first half, 5 turnovers, but he was able to clean things up here in the second half. Anthony Semera, the 3 ball won't work for him, as that ball was last touched by Alain Maliksi. Don Trollano, one of the players who are expected to step up on offense. Not a great performance from him in this ball game so far, only with 6 points. Add that to the struggles of Jericho Cruz, only with 3, and you begin to understand why NLEX is on the back foot here. Uh-oh. Macbelo, I think, rolled his ankle trying to chase Calvin Oftana. Looks like he will try to tough it out. Meralco opting not to call a timeout here.
It looks like Coach Norman is calling for someone to come sub for Macbelo. Saw him look over to the bench there.
5 minutes, 8 seconds remaining. NLEX slowly running out of time here to deal with this 15-point deficit, 101 to 86. Cliff Hodge will enter the ball game to replace Macbelo. Jericho Cruz with 3, Kevin Alas only with 2, Don Trollano only with 6. So even with the explosion of Calvin Oftana, the Road Warriors, because their usual reliables aren't scoring yet, are still down by double digits, as Don Trollano will try to make up for it here in the final minutes of our ball game.
And Carlo, your key players, Kevin Alas, Jericho Cruz, this is not the time to do it, to be frank, because each game for them is so important.
Usually you would get at least 25 points from those 2 players.
Exactly, you got to bring your A game.
JR Quinyahan, mid-range jumper, nothing there, as Almazan adds to his rebounding totals. 12 points, 11 rebounds for Almazan. Quinto now to Alain Maliksi. Found an opening for 3, no good. As NLEX is getting some success on the defensive end, they will just have to heat up now from the field.
It's a good take there by Jericho Quinyahan, attacking Raymond Almazan from the top of the key.
Foul number 20, Raymond Almazan.
Timeout requested by the NLEX Road Warriors. They still have some time to do something about this dozen-point deficit, 101 to 89, as we head into this timeout. Our games for tomorrow, it will be the Meralco Bolts going up against Barangay Ginebra, San Miguel at 2 p.m. and then Northport Batang-Pierre versus the Alaska Aces at 4:35. Those are must-wins for Barangay Ginebra and for Northport and for Alaska. Meralco, it depends. If they win this, then tomorrow will be something that they will not have to win, but a chance to eliminate the Barangay Ginebra San Miguel squad that has cost them so many heartbreaks in the past. Surely still something to get up for the Meralco Bolts.
Oh, for sure, for sure. But, you know, it's really hard to tell what Coach Norman Black is going to do. I mean, if he's thinking long-term, preserve his key players, prevent any situations to where someone can get injured going into the playoffs. But at the same time, you want to be on a high note going into the playoffs. I've said this time and time again. That's very, very important because of momentum.
Press coming from the Road Warriors, but Meralco does well enough to avoid complications. 101 to 90 on 11-point Meralco lead. Only have 3.5 minutes remaining in this ball game. Alain Maliksi fakes a three. Dribbles in closer. One-hander, no good. Rebound for Oftana. NLEX still in this. Don Troliano rushing down court. Settles for three. No good. Rebound Hodge. You know, at this stage, when you're getting stops, you have to be very efficient with your scoring because there are only a limited number of possessions available in the final 3 minutes.
Yeah, a little bit of, just knowing that you're running out of time type scenario to where you feel that you have to jack up a shot right off the bat.
NLEX is getting their stops. Can they find the buckets? Semerad, three on the way, still nothing there. They're settling too much for the outside shot here.
Way too much. You know, you think about guys like Jer Kanyahan who you can go to into the post or run a pick and roll situation off of him. You know, those are some of the scenarios that they can use, but unfortunately they haven't used them in the last 3 possessions.
Ali, 12 of 36 from downtown for NLEX.
Yes.
13 of 20 for Meralco. Mid-range jumper for Quinto, no good. And the ball will bounce towards Pasaol's favor. Fresh 14 on the shot clock for Meralco.
Another offensive rebound for Meralco.
The ball shooting 61% from deep. The
That's a
NLEX
great
Warriors
number,
at 34.
Boy, did that number go down dramatically.
Well, as
Still.
expected. 101 to 90. We have a timeout. 2 minutes, 15 seconds remaining. Meralco creeping in to sealing that top 2 spot. This was the situation where, Macbelo injured his ankle. He was trying to defend Calvin Oftana, tried to keep in step with the rookie. Unfortunately, rolled his ankle as Calvin Oftana, a career high 25 points. His previous career high was at 16 only. And Bong Quinto won't get the roll on the mid-range jumper. Coming up on 2 minutes remaining in this ball game. NLEX still down by 11. J.R. Quinyaha with a strong drive, and he will get 2 free throws. Again, going back to the point we made earlier, why settle for threes when you can go to an efficient scorer inside in J.R. Quinyaha?
It's just the franticness, if you will, on the part of NLEX, knowing again that there's under 2 minutes left in this fourth quarter, and you're doing everything that you can possibly do to get back into this game. When by trying to take, ill-advised shots at this point, or quick shots, when in fact you should do the exact opposite. Try to work the ball around and try to get a more efficient shot. But, again, it's sort of a balanced thing because time is running out.
Corner trap here, and they force a steal. Anthony Semera takes the ball away. Oftana, lefty layup, no good! Second effort is blocked. And the scramble for the loose ball will be won by NLEX. Quinto was stepping on the baseline as he touched the basketball. So NLEX suddenly coming alive with their defense. Get another opportunity to inch closer here. Anjo Karam will replace Alain Maliksi for another ball handler for Coach Norman Black. Alas to Quinyahan. They hand it off to Troliano. Good switching defense coming from Meralco. Oftana wiggles free and connects from downtown.
Good execution on the inbounds play. Unbelievable. Now NLEX is within 6.
Still a lot of time remaining in this ball game. Quinto will not force the issue. They will burn some clock in this possession. Pinto against Oftana. Pinto fakes the handoff. Where's this play going? Macbelo, the shot won't work. And the tap goes to Anjo Karam.
And this has been the story the whole game.
The point guard quicker to the loose ball. Mid-range jumper. No good. Rebound for Oftana. One more chance for NLEX to inch closer. Kevin Alas drives. A layup won't work. Sorry miss for Alas.
They've had their opportunities, Carlo.
Sigh of relief for the Meralco Bolts
For sure.
after Alas missed that layup. And now a foul is given up by Kevin Alas. Last team foul that they could give up here in the fourth quarter before giving up free throws.
But this is how dangerous NLEX can be. You imagine they were down in double figures, and they just managed to climb back in, bringing it to 6 points.
Biggest lead was 20 for Meralco. Quinto looking for the dagger. Bong Quinto forces it up. One-hander is good.
I love his post game. I really do. That base, he understands leverage, he understands positioning.
Oftana. Corner pocket three-point shot is good. What a performance. 31 points for Calvin Oftana.
A new career high.
Doubling up almost on his old career high. They will have to foul here as Kevin Alas gives that one up. You know, Ali, it's just unfortunate that he found his career high in a game where Kevin Alas and Jericho Cruz played perhaps the worst game combined from those two stars here in this entire conference.
Yes, unfortunately. And this was a game where, again, I said this before, your key players have to step up.
Your schedule for tomorrow, Meralco versus Barangay Ginebra, Northport versus Alaska. Alaska will also be seeing action after this ball game. NLEX will have to rush here. They will call a timeout. Two misses coming from Pinto will keep the door, at least at this moment, still open for an NLEX comeback.
And Pinto knows it too. You saw his reaction.
Could have been a three-possession ball game. Now it's just a 5-point advantage, 103-98. Timeout, NLEX. Bong Quinto has been golden for Coach Norman Black in this ball game, wanting a foul with that one. It wasn't given to him, but he found the bucket anyway. On the other side, Calvin Oftana playing the game of his life here in the PBA, sinking that corner three-point shot, 31 points, 7 of 10 from downtown. And they will need even more coming from him to try and get back into this ball game with about 11 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. Oftana, the inbounder here. He goes to Quinyahan. JR with a handoff to Alas. Good switch on defense. Oftana open for three. That's good! That was a picture-perfect play coming from Coach Yang Yao. Maybe it took a little bit of time, but at least they got a big basket coming from Calvin Oftana.
It's been the inbounds plays by NLEX that's helped NLEX climb back into this ball game.
Look at that pin-down screen coming from JR Quinyahan, eliminating Bong Quinto from the situation. 8 triples for Calvin Oftana. His previous career high was at 16 points. And he has more than doubled up on it with 34 in this ball game. 2.4 seconds remaining. And Lex will have no other choice but to give up a foul here and then hope that Meralco misses at least one free throw.
Very, very critical possession here for Meralco. And you have to execute precisely. More importantly, take care of the basketball.
Gusto mo bang maging PBA virtual fan? Register to join the PBA virtual fan experience and then become a bida fan dahil dito sa PBA, tayo ang bida. Registration link will be posted a day before each PBA game day on PBA Rush TV5 and One Sports Facebook page. 2.4 seconds remaining in this ball game. Meralco trying to hang on to it. And Lex is holding out to hope.
To make sure that they inbound the ball properly.
The worst thing you can do here is absorb a 5-second penalty, a violation on the inbound.
It's good denial. Okay.
Foul. Yep. That's a quick foul coming from J.R. Quinyahan, and Raymond Almazan is not a bad player to send to the free throw line.
These are big free throws for Raymond Almazan, nonetheless.
Holding foul on number 37, J.R. Quinyahan, penalty. That's his second.
Here we go. Raymond Almazan on the line for two.
Shooting two, Raymond Almazan.
Two will seal the deal. One miss, and NLEX will have an opportunity. Almazan on the line, the first free throw he will be taking in this ball game. Oh, that is good. That's a more important one.
It is, and the second one should be a lot easier now.
Big double-double for Almazan. Second, for the second spot. It's a miss and a tap coming from Quinto, and that should be it. The Meralco Bolts hang on, even with the NLEX Road Warriors doing everything they can to climb back into this contest. It will not be enough, as Meralco will take the second top spot, and they will have a twice-to-beat advantage in the quarterfinals alongside the TNT Tropang Gigas. They win 104-101 against the NLEX Road Warriors. What a game, Ali.
What a game indeed, because, you know, Meralco, it got really tight towards the end, but they were able to hang on and get this win.
But we have to give our proper respects to the player who did so well for the Meralco Bolts. 22 points, 4 rebounds for Alain Maliksi. He was a little bit quiet in the fourth quarter, but he did enough through the first 3 to give Meralco the advantage that they needed. Our next level player of the game is brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA.
Well, it all started with those 3-point shots by Alain Maliksi, but we saw different types of attacks by Alain Maliksi throughout the entire game. And even though he was quiet towards the end, the damage was already done.
And now TNT and Meralco are the top 2 teams, guaranteed of the top 2 spots against number 7 and number 8. They will have a twice-to-beat advantage. And now it's time to settle the rest of the matters from number 3.
Let's go ahead and do
oh,
it.
No. Number 3 is already assured for the Magnolia Pambansang Manok Hotshots. It will be from number 4 up to number 8 as we have our winning head coach and best player of the game.
Coach Norman Black and our best player of the game, Alain Maliksi. Congratulations po.
Thank you.
Alain, another great performance from you. 22 points, 4 of 6 from 3. Nabanggit ba ni Coach kung gaano kahalaga yung last 2 games niyo?
Una, thank you kay God kasi walang nasaktan tsaka healthy kami lahat. Yung last 2 games, sobrang important sa amin na yung momentum madala namin for the playoffs.
Okay. Coach, you needed to win one of your last 2 games to secure the number 2 spot and the last twice to beat incentive, but your team was on fire from the get-go. What exactly did you tell your team before this game?
First of all, we thank the Lord for all the blessings. It's just a game that we wanted to win. We know we have a game against Ginebra tomorrow where we might be a little bit tired because we're playing back-to-back games. So we felt like this game was the most crucial one, and it was a must-win for us if we wanted to make the twice to beat. So the guys just came out and played their hearts out, particularly in the first, I would say, 40 minutes of the game. The last 8 minutes maybe wasn't very pretty, but at this point of the season, every win counts, and now we can look forward to our game tomorrow against Ginebra and look forward to the playoffs.
Coach, can you talk about having Cliff and Chris back and the contribution of your bench? How do you like their performance tonight?
I didn't really expect too much from the two guys. We know that they're major players for us, and they play a lot of minutes, but I didn't expect very much because they've only been back in practice for 2 days, and they were out for 2 weeks. So, when you're out for 2 weeks with the pandemic, you really can't do anything other than just stay home. So they really haven't had a chance to get their rhythm on the basketball court. We did no running in the last 2 days because we've been playing a lot of games. So I'm hoping as we go forward, they'll be able to get back their regular games and their regular minutes. But tonight it was more about the guys who have been here, the guys like Alain who just stepped up and had a big game for us tonight. And, we're happy for that. We're happy to get that twice to beat. It's the first time in the history of the Meralco franchise that we've been able to do it.
Coach, when will Reynald be back?
This weekend. He'll be back this weekend.
Okay, thank you, Coach. Now we turn you over to our press friends. First up is Mr. Bong Lozada.
Congrats, Alain.
Thank you.
And Alain, for next game, last game nyo na this elimination round. So, paano kayo magpe-prepare doon, especially wala pa si Reynel and baka wala rin si Chris?
Yung focus namin today is manalo sa itong game na to, and then tomorrow's game, magpe-prepare kami siguro later or before sa morning. Pero ang focus namin is getting the momentum papunta sa playoffs, and yun yung paulit na sinasabi sa amin ni Coach is we need to be better and ma-level up yung game namin coming to the playoffs para makapunta kami ng finals.
Game highlights brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. Meralco Bolts against the NLEX Road Warriors. And in the first quarter, it was all about Calvin of Tana, and the theme was the same for the NLEX Road Warriors throughout this ball game. It just felt that Calvin was ready to have his breakout performance in the PBA.
Oh, for sure, and did he? Big time, and he got off to a really good start. But in that first quarter as well, Meralco also got off to a really good start. So many players getting involved through the course of this game, and it all started in this first quarter.
You can see Macbelo, Alvin Pasaol chipping in as they scored 30 points in the first quarter, and it would be even better for the Meralco Bolts in the second quarter, where they dropped 35 points on the defense of NLEX led by Alain Maliksi.
3-point shots seem to be the main weapon of Meralco, shooting 81% in the first half, which is incredible. But we also saw some really good some looks by NLEX. A 3-point shot by Calvin Oftana in the corner.
He already established his new career high with 19 points in the first half, but the hits just kept on coming for the Meralco Bolts, including Mac Bello, who had another 3-point conversion late in the second. Double-digit lead for Meralco heading into the second half of action.
Well, in the third quarter, we see some big-to-big action there by NLEX. Jerican Yahan finding Raul Soyud on the cut.
But unfortunately for NLEX, they also suffered a couple of crucial turnovers, allowing Meralco to add on to their lead, stretch it at its biggest at 20 points.
It was all because of their defense, the perimeter defense by Meralco, forcing turnovers that resulted in fast break points. Alvin Pasaol, the rookie, getting more involved in the second half as opposed to the first half, where he also had a very good output as well.
But you have to give credit to the NLEX Road Warriors in the fourth quarter. They were down by as many as 20 points, but they chipped away at it, even with, this altercation between Anthony Semerad and Chris Newsom. thankfully, cooler heads prevailed. The aggression did not escalate. Technical foul on Semerat and then a flagrant foul penalty to Newsome for throwing the ball.
It was playoff basketball.
You can just see how important this game was for both squads. He was ejected, talking about Chris Newsome. Wasn't not able to score, but he had a lot of players stepping up for him during his absence. And in this game even, as Alain Maliksi continued to pour in the points, but NLEX stayed stubborn, stayed clawing their way back into this matchup with big hits like this one coming from Calvin Oftana.
That pin down by Jer Kanyahan was so crucial to get Calvin Oftana open. And Calvin Oftana, the whole night, he knew what to do with it.
But in the end, just not enough time for the NLEX Road Warriors. They give themselves a chance here, fouling Raymond Almazan, sending him to the free throw line. But with 1.6 seconds remaining, it was too tough already. It was already hoping for a miracle of sorts for the NLEX Road Warriors. Almazan would miss the second free throw, but Bong Quinto taps the ball out of bounds as the clock expired, giving Meralco the win and the second spot in our team standings. 104-101 is your final score. Up next, we have the San Miguel Beermen going up against the Alaska Aces. Stick with us here on PBA Rush.